hell out here in Havana, Cuba. Okay. And we're gonna be talking to some real Cubans. We're gonna be roaming around. I have a bunch of interviews that are ready to go, ready to rip. But obviously the internet is like not the most reliable out here. So this is the most stable. This is the most stable it'll be. And that's it. That's the situation. Oh my god, my hair is out of control. Bro, you look like a corpse. How are you that white? I think the color is a little crazy on this camera today. I don't know why. But yeah, I've made it. Made it to made it to Havana, Cuba. And spotted Brace Belden, March, Ryan Grimm. Yeah, I was sitting right next to them, but I guess I didn't make it on the camera here. But yeah, this is the flight. I have not met anyone yet. Stop asking me if I met your favorite people. I didn't see the Kneecap Boys yet. Are you okay? You look tired. I'm insanely tired, chatter. What do you think? I just flew from Los Angeles to Miami, got like 3 hours of sleep, landed in Miami, got 3 hours of sleep, and then flew to Cuba. Yeah, I'm tired and I'm pasty and I'm white. I'm looking white as hell. I know. But yeah, we have some very cool interviews and stuff lined up, which will be off the stream. Unfortunately, most of the interviews will be off the stream because it's like very difficult to. One, it's very difficult to get around. It's not as bad as like you would think, but it's still obviously a bit of a pain to get around. And also on top of that, there's severe limitations here. The energy grid is currently stable, luckily, but as you guys know, the energy grid was taken out for like 24 hours. So, but first things first, Cubans, the fucking best people. Okay, so kind, so welcoming, just the best, just the absolute best people. Oh my lord. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, we worked hard and we were able to set up a freaking we were able to set up a goddamn stream, you know? Not in Miami. Oh, dude, it's the reversal. It's actually literally like the exact opposite. Like all the good Cubans stayed here and most of the ones that are crazy just like flew up there. I swear to God. I had a really funny experience with that. It's like we get in the car. March and I were about to discuss our plans of going to Cuba. Hold on. It's gonna get better in a second. Calma. Calma. It's a little bit laggy. Okay, it's back. All right, so March and I were about to discuss. We get into Uber last night. March and I are about to discuss that we're gonna be flying to Cuba, like talking about plans, right? And I was like, March, don't say anything, because I noticed that the dude in the car was a Miami Cuban. I was like, don't, like, I literally went, don't say anything. And then I just asked him, I was like, where are you from? And he's like, oh, Cuba. And I was like, okay. And I just asked him about like, what his feelings are about what's going on. March actually spat some Spanish at him. Okay. And let me tell you, okay. He said Donald Trump needs to finish the job. That's what he said. That was the first guy. And this is like, I guess this was March's first real interaction with like a Miami Cuban. You know what I mean? This was his first ever interaction with a real Miami Cuban, like a real ass Miami Cuban, right? So he was like kind of shocked. And I know what the stream Fs look like, Megaphonics. I'm monitoring it. I'm monitoring the situation and I'm monitoring the stream as well. So so March had not experienced that at all. So that was like his first ever inclination. And the guy had no family here. They were all in Miami, right? So like, obviously he was the classic, like, bomb it all, like God sorted out type guy. And then this morning we had another conversation, but this guy was actually so on Trump. And he was still like, oh, the government is like stealing everything. It's bad, blah, blah, blah. Communism is bad. But he was a little bit more open minded because I was able to like talk to him about the embargo, right? I was able to talk to him about the embargo and how, like, when Obama opened it up, because I asked him, like, what do you think about Obama? And he was like, he's so. He didn't like Donald Trump as much, but he didn't like Barack Obama either, but he was like so on Obama. So I was like, so how did it, because he had family. He had family here, right? So I was like, how did it work out for you and your family? Like, was it a little bit easier when, was it a little bit easier when Obama was opening it up, it was a little bit of sanctions relief. And he actually admitted that, things were better. Like in his mind, I feel like there's this, it's a very strange predicament. It's a very strange situation because, like, in his mind, he understands, like, his experiences, his family's experiences. He understands that sanctions relief was good, but he still thinks there has to be sanctions, or some Miami Cubans will say there's no embargo, there's no sanctions anyway. That's a lie too. But deep down inside, he kind of gets it. He just cannot comprehend. Like, he doesn't put two and two together where I'm like, okay, well, shouldn't that be the direction that we move in, right? Instead of what Trump is doing, right? And it's it's the strangest predicament I have ever been a part of, where people just, they have this very weird attitude about it. They have this very weird attitude about it. On the one hand, they understand what their families' lives looked like or felt like when there was a little bit of sanctions relief, and like they could send money with ease to their families. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such a strange cognitive dissonance to experience in real time. But I gave a couple interviews at the airport and stuff, and then we flew in, and I dumped my bags, and I'm here. I'm literally I was setting this up, trying to make sure that trying to make sure that I can do a full blown stream for you guys from freaking Havana, Cuba. God damn, this is loud. But yeah, super proud of you for doing this trip. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. The Cubans are incredible. Is it just two-sided? Castro or Batista, or do anything Miami Cuban understand it was bad before the revolution? It depends on who you're talking to. If they literally worked, if their grandparents had like sugar plantations or like sugar factories, right? Like, they obviously think it was fucking sweet when Batista was in charge, or even before Batista, right? Because like Cuba's political problems historically didn't even begin with just Batista. It's been an ongoing issue. That's why the revolutionaries will say Cuba was not a republic in 1901, right? Because when Cuba gained independence, it actually didn't gain independence. It gained independence from Spain, but it didn't actually gain independence because it was still locked in with the United States of America. That's where Guantanamo Bay comes from, for example. So like, for a lot of people that don't know the history of Cuba, they had a lot of racial issues as well. Cuba is like much more diverse than the United States of America is. Like the Afro Latino population here is around 50-50. The white Spanish colonial rulers actually wanted to keep it like 60-40 to the best of their ability, right? So there's a lot of colorism as well. Well, not anymore, but like there was a lot of colorism in Cuba in its history. There was like, protest movements specifically with Black Cubans that wanted to get the same, to get the same amenities and the same rights that like white Cubans were getting. And there's a lot of cross-pollination, both on the white supremacist racism side of like white Cubans working with white Americans, and then also with black Cubans working with black Americans. Now, this is, of course, pre-revolution, pre-Batista. I'm talking about the 1900s, right? 1900s onwards, 1920s, 1930s, and then Batista comes in, and he's a ruthless autocrat. He's a ruthless tyrant. And of course, then the Cuban Revolution happens, and the Cuban Revolution is actually different than the previous ownership over Cuba, because the Cuban pseudo republic, if you want to call it that, pre-revolutionary Cuba, was mixed as well. But the pre-revolutionary pseudo republic of Cuba was there was a constitutional amendment that made it so that America could militarily invade it, and oftentimes did at the behest of the ruling class. So this is post-revolutionary Cuba, an agrarian national social revolution before it became a socialist communist revolution. This revolution actually did away and gave Cubans full autonomy. And equal rights and representation. Now, of course, maybe not for the gays initially, but that's obviously been patched. But my point is like pre-communist revolution Cuba was still a vassal, an island, maybe not as directly considered a territory like Puerto Rico, but something in between, right? Whereas revolutionary Cuba, post-communist revolution, is a truly independent country, which is the reason why I'm bringing up all of this, is because these financial entanglements that Americans have with Cuba, the assets that they owned, whether it was the banking system or the sugar plantations, or even the deep ties that the casinos and the tourism industry had here with American corporate benefactors, has existed for long before, has existed for a very long time. It actually was a big part of the reason why this revolution took place to begin with. These people were not being adequately represented. Their needs were not being represented. There was prostitution, child prostitution. There was widespread illiteracy. The countryside didn't have... what do you get me? March got me...
We don't got Red Bull here.
What is this? XL energy drink.
Yeah.
March got me an energy drink. XL energy drink.
Hi, chat. No, I'm Mauricio
now. Mauricio.
Yeah.
Bro, he's been spitting, by the way. He just fucking stays spitting. Okay? Why'd you take the brand off? Oh, okay. Oh my God, this is my first bottle of water in Cuba. I have been parched. Cuban water? Oh my God. Oh my God. Really? That's crazy. He just walked in. She just walked in, monitored the situation, and fucked off. Yeah. Okay, that was cool. There's a little puppy in here, but she barked at March quite a bit, so I don't know. You visiting La Plaza de la Revolucion? Sure. I'll be visiting everything. You got to do the Cuban coffee, my guy. Shit is so damn fire, brother. Okay. We don't have we have very limited options here in terms of movement. Okay, so I'm locked in here. I was giving you guys the history and the background and why when you meet a white Cuban sometimes in the United States of America, especially, they have a very different attitude overall about the country and its governance and its sovereignty than the Cubans living in Cuba. It just goes in and out a little bit, but it's fine. It is what it is, especially when it gets windy. But all right, I'm about to try this. Cuban separatists spearheaded independence from Spain on the basis of racism, specifically anti-black racism, comprised of mostly white Spaniards and landowners. Separatists wanted freedom from the Spanish crown because they wanted less slaves on the island and hated the potential for more Africans being brought to the island and outnumbering white Spaniards. Yeah. The other interesting side of it, though, is that some of the Spanish that they were basically shipping in order to keep the island white were literally anarchists. So, and they were trade unionists. So basically, what ended up happening is like a big part of the initial communist movement and the formation still has that white identity associated with it as well. Obviously, of course, like the racial component still very much existed, but like ironically enough, some of the whites that they brought from Spain literally were the trade unionists and the anarchists that were like, yeah, we got to do fucking union strike, we got to do strikes, we got to do demonstrations. So yeah, um, where did you read this? It is actually a book that I'm reading currently. I don't. Oh, March might have it with him. Actually, is a book called Cuba. Is the history of Cuba. That's the book I'm reading currently. But yeah, this is good. Speaking of Cuba, Russia is hopefully, inshallah, sending crude to the island, so that's pretty chill. Ada Ferrera's Cuba and American History, that might be the book. I mean, I can go look at it. But the weather is brilliant. The weather is beautiful. The island is sick. The vibes are fucking incredible. These people are unimaginably resilient. It totally makes sense. When you come here, you're like, oh, I get it. Like, yeah, there's issues with the energy grid. Food doesn't keep. No refrigeration, right? But then also at the same time, these guys are chillers. All right, they're fucking chillers, dude. I don't know how else to describe it. They're just like, yeah, what are you gonna do? This is our life. This has been our life for decades. You know, the Yankees have brought this about, and it is what it is. I wish things were better, but what are you gonna fucking do? That's that's low key the attitude, and it's very cool. Thank you, Themasius, for the playlist. Are you jet lagged? I don't think so. But yeah, you don't need fridges when you're chill as fuck is right. That's true. You got food and you didn't give me some? Oh, you didn't get anything from the store? There was nothing in the store? How was this? I'm good. I'm good actually. How was the store? Did you see any trees or was it, it's not a lot. Okay. I want to Yeah, you can explain the situation. I won't be able to hear they won't be able to hear you though cuz the noise gate's heavy. Multiple stores? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Little bodegas, people's homes. Oh, they didn't even have water. Some of them, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, shit's scarce. Not a lot of not a lot of commerce options out here. Not because of communism, okay? Before people freaked out about that. Treats under socialism. Yeah. So have you met up with any of the other activists that arrived at the island, brother? I came with them. We've been out here together. They're currently at a big meeting with the president and like the welcome committee and all that, but I'm not there because I had to set this stuff up because I have an obligation, a duty, and this is my life. This is what I do. How's Brace doing? Brace is doing great. Hung out with him a lot, kissed him a lot. We kissed. A little bit of cut there. A little not great. Little break off there, but it's all good. We're gonna get better. Internet's gonna get better. Lesbian lighting. Okay, yeah. How was Medea Benjamin? Yes, I met my queen, Medea Benjamin. She was brilliant. She was wonderful. She's the queen. Bro, streamers at a meeting the Cuban president. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got some stuff going on. I got some stuff dialed in. Okay, calm down. So as far as the boat situation goes, we were originally going to do a boat. We were originally going to do a flotilla, but then the situation is fluid. The reason why we didn't do the flotilla is because from America, it's much more difficult to pull off a flotilla, and we could bring more aid this way. So we packed a fucking cargo plane filled to the brim with aid, and we flew it. We flew it instead. The reason why the reason why I was a little bit evasive about like how we were gonna go, I'll tell you now. Now that I'm here, and there's not like I can't reveal everything to you all the time. I know that you guys are like you're very used to me being like super forthcoming and super transparent with everything. But the reason why I didn't want to reveal what we were doing exactly was for OPSEC. Nothing that we're doing is illegal, obviously, but it doesn't matter because like people, when they find out exactly what the plans are, might try to like fuck it up. Do you understand? Because like in order to do this, like, and this took long ass planning. Okay, this took a long ass time to put together. Shouts out to Progressive International. Shouts out to Code Pink, Answer Coalition. Like they've been working on this nonstop, and I've been trying to help out to the best of my ability. But like, you know, when like we had to keep certain things under wraps. Like you can't just like deliver humanitarian aid to Cuba without getting approval clearance from the American government, mind you, because you could go to Cuba right now. Remember, you come to Cuba right now. You could fly to Cuba right now and have a wonderful time. It's just that obviously there's limitations to what you can and can't do, born out of the American government's ridiculous restrictions, right? But if we were just like out and out talking about what we were, talking about our plans, I was worried that someone might like, someone might actually interfere, right? Does that make sense? Do you understand? But yeah, bye bye. Have a beautiful time. It is beautiful. It is one of the most beautiful places. It is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my whole life. Straight up, don't you think? It's like it's literally, it is straight up. Cuba relies on tourism for a major part of the economy, right? I have awkward white American feels going there while we're trying to kill them, brother. Yes, you come here, okay? It doesn't matter. These guys will fucking welcome you with open arms. But yeah, it is truly the most beautiful place I've ever been to. I totally get why Will loved this. Loved Cuba when he visited, and it makes sense. It makes it the nicest people. Yeah, incredible. My favorite food at Cuba, ropa vieja, pineapple and plantain chips. Please try ropa vieja if you have the chance. Okay, will do. All right, let me blast off real quick. Do we have a blast off meme or no? Yeah, live from Havana, Cuba, monitoring the situation, www.twitch.tv. HasanAbi. Blast off meme if you need one. Okay. Bro, the internet when it's working is better than my internet in Los Angeles, like low key. We have rigged it up. We've done some crazy shit out here too. We have like, we're locked and loaded. We bonded like numerous Cuba Cell SIM cards together. We've been able to get stability in Havana, Cuba, which is, I can't say this enough. It is definitely an impressive feat. Okay, I will say, it is definitely not something that you can just like easily put together. All right. But yeah, fuck. Blast off submission. What is this? Okay, I already. It's too late. I already blasted off. Did you meet Jezza? Not yet. I'm gonna actually text my friends right now. Oh, also shouts out to the HasanAbi head at TSA that let me pass through without giving me too much grief. As I had wads and wads of cash on me. That was really funny. Because I walked through TSA and I got a fat stack on me. And it looks a lot more than it actually is because it's like small bills. That's what they told us. They were like, oh, like it's very, you should bring small bills and, just give people money, right? So I came in with this shit, okay? And it looks a lot more than it actually is, okay? So basically what ended up happening is, what? Yeah. I walked in with a brick. It's not actually a brick. It's not actually a brick. Don't worry. But you are so lucky you got a fucking fan. I know, cuz he was looking at me like he's like, "Bro, you're Hasan." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What the hell is that in your hand? Is that just a brick? What the fuck?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm going to Cuba and like they're all small dollars. Like, don't worry, it's nothing crazy." Bro, you're gonna get robbed, brother. The money is for the people here, okay? So, like, if someone were to rob me of this money, that would be like I was gonna give it anyway. You know what I mean? It's just it goes to one guy rather than a bunch of guys. You fucking idiot. Also, there's no guns here. Anyway, yeah, I just realized I was also looking like this. So with the fucking wad, if it wasn't a fan, I would have been cooked. Now that I think about it, if it wasn't a fan, they'd be like, "You're a fucking drug dealer. What the hell is this outfit? You look ridiculous." Um, in any case, I should do a quick text here. You look CIA? Yeah, it's fine. Bro, that TSA agent gonna be in trouble now. It's not illegal, man. It's not illegal to have fucking cash on you. Okay, what the hell? It's not illegal to be moneyed up. Um, Americans not thinking everywhere else. Detroit 80s challenge, impossible difficulty. Yeah. So, yeah, we blasted off. By the way, I'm live. I'm alive. Let the people know. Okay, we blasted off. I'm in Havana, Cuba, I appreciate the low buttoning. Have you fomented counter revolution yet? Yeah, dude, totally, bro. Dude. What was I gonna say? Oh, before we get into the situation monitoring, because the situation must be monitored, obviously. Um, what was the last thing I was gonna say? Trump is looking for exit ramp. Wants someone else to fix the straight. Nice, great. Is that the mosquito spray? No, I'm good for now. I haven't felt the mosquitoes around me at all yet. Yeah, it's been pretty good. That was a big worry for a lot of people. Um, we're gonna monitor in a second. We're gonna monitor super fucking hard in a second. I also need to monitor my DMs real quick and my messages. The other issue is like when you're not in like a hardwired internet area, you're kind of cooked. Do you have a charger for the phone? Oh, shit. What are you at? I'm at 30. Well, I have a. If you have a cable, I can plug this to a. I mean, should we just waste that or whatever? We'll fucking we'll do it. True, true, true. No, I don't have a cable on me. Hold on. I'm like setting up interviews right now. What? Is it not connected to anything? No, no. Wait, what is that? Strong? Oh, got it, got it, got it. Okay. The dream of the 90s is alive in Cuba? Yeah, it's true. Hold on. Let me get these guys on. Can we set up an interview with Jezza? Please. Okay. No, but they hate it and have hardcore cash restrictions. Come on, lol. And to be honest, kind of loving that is hiding from the feds. 90s Wall Street. What? I mean, you can bring cash to Cuba. You should bring hard American cash to Cuba and give it to the people of Cuba. That is one of the best things you could do in Cuba. Obviously, there's restrictions on how much cash you can bring, but you know it is what it is, right? Like, but Havana used to be comparable to Cancun and Vegas as premier tourist destinations. No, it totally makes sense. One of the most beautiful cities I've ever been in. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in. Beautiful people, like beautiful architecture. Everything is amazing here. It's just like what we've done to this country is unfucking bearable, and seeing it in real time also is like very frustrating. First, I was overcome by the beauty of the land and the people, and then I was angry. Okay, especially because like it doesn't have to be this way at all. If we were just like, I'll give Cuba room to breathe, they wouldn't have to suffer at all. It's unfucking bearable when you think about it. But yeah, anyway, what was I gonna say? There was another thing I was gonna bring up. Job, my goal while I'm out here is to conduct as many interviews with like regular Cubans as possible. I'm going to be I'm going to be talking to. Okay, is it back? Is it still gone? Is it still busted? Yeah, yeah. It periodically goes in and out. Um, my job my job out here is to talk to regular Cubans about their struggles, about how they live, their resilience. And my job is to talk to some of the most brilliant people you've ever actually encountered. Like I'm going to be interviewing a doctor on the Alzheimer's and dementia treatments that they've developed here that are cutting edge. Okay. I'm going to be talking to another doctor about like the energy complications and the grid complications in terms of like conducting surgeries and whatnot. I'm going to be talking to some Palestinian students that are in medical school out here um, that came from Gaza, if I'm not mistaken. Like there's Palestinians in Cuba right now going to medical school. Like medicine is the number one thing. Okay, if the Iranians are all fucking STEM lords, Cubans are all medicine lords. Okay, it's literally not Skypea. What's the One Piece country that's all doctors? Their biotech is insane. Okay, they are goaded on biotech. They're goaded on fucking medicine. It's totally insane. best thing to do is you're on the ground and cutting edge academics, professors, and doctors. Thank you so much for engagement and awareness on repeating the dignity of the Cuban people. Yeah, of course. So, like, Iran is the STEM lord nation where they're all fucking engineers. Okay, they all dual majored in like Quranic studies and Kantian philosophy, and then also how to make the craziest missile you've ever seen. And Cuba is the doctor. It's great doctors. So, bro, I actually thought you were flotillaing to Cuba. What the hell, first class streamer? Yeah, bro. That's what we were gonna do initially. Oh, Drum Island, thank you. Okay, it's effing quite a bit. It's effing more frequently now. Oh, bro, this is delicious, by the way. Where is this from? XL energy drink? Like, where is it made? It's made in Lexington Avenue in New York. Is this just Red Bull, but reskinned Red Bull? I haven't had a real full strength Red Bull in years, so that's probably what it is. How long are you gonna stay there? Sunday. I'll be back on Monday. Some missiles exploded before ever getting to watch their MIRV targets run on their own 2 jets. Yeah, bro, it's Shred Bull, legally distinct. Yeah, so a lot of people, for example, don't know that Cuba has its own lung cancer vaccine. A lot of people, for example, don't know that Cuba has its own dementia and Alzheimer's treatments that are some of the most cutting edge dementia and Alzheimer's treatments on the planet. So these are the types of things that hopefully I can show people. A lot of people are completely oblivious to the day-to-day existence of regular Cubans. They have like insane opinions because unfortunately the only thing that you hear about Cuba is from Miami Cubans that are incredibly fucking reactionary and will routinely throw, if they have any family members here on the island, routinely throw them under the fucking bus and actively have designed this world where the Cuban government's communism is the reason why the island is poor, and not because, and the mismanagement, and not because we have strangled the fucking island. The largest imperial superpower on the planet has strangled this goddamn island that's 90 miles off the coastline of, once again, the hegemonic superpower for 60 years, right? And even longer before then. We have dominated this island for far longer than even the Cuban Revolution. The Cuban Revolution was the first instance where Cuba was able to develop sovereignty and dignity, and we've never stopped punishing them for it. And it is unfucking bearable, and it's incredibly stupid. It is one of the cruelest things that we've done, and it's totally on autopilot. And yet, so many people just hear how the conditions look like on the ground, where they're like, Cubans don't have access to running water, they don't have clean water, they don't have any electricity. And it's like, no one asked the question how we got here, and when they do ask that question, people say, "Oh, it's because of communism." Are you recording the stream on your side? Please do not rely on the bot. No, I'm not. But thank you, chatter. Yeah, we are. The interviews that we're gonna do, we're not gonna do here because like there's a lot of limitations to what we can do. Okay, because of the lack of energy and yeah, the live stream interviews will be recorded. Yeah, we just will we get to see any live streams outside? Potentially. I'm gonna try to see if we can pull one off. We have a system here. We got bonded SIM cards that we could potentially deploy. They don't have internet in Cuba. That's why. Yeah, no, exactly. The Cuban government is scary. They've cut down. They've shut down the internet. It's like that's not the case. One of the as far as the conversations I've had here so far, like people say, this is one of the most responsive most humane governments out there, which is precisely the reason why America wants to fucking dominate it. It's disgusting. Same argument about financial problems in Iran. I mean, with Iran, at least it's a competent sovereign state that isn't as heavily dominated. It's certainly dominated, but like Iran, due to its proximity and due to its also blossoming energy sector, has been able to design sanctions relief for themselves. Okay, they are still an oil giant. They're a gas giant. So it's not comparable to Cuba. Cuba is a fucking island that is predisposed to hurricane season and natural disasters, and obviously has like agricultural output. At a point, I think it had like a cotton industry, but it doesn't have oil, so it's a little bit more difficult, don't you think, for them to be able to design an alternative system, an alternative economy for themselves, in spite of the sanctions. Now, for every kneecap about the aid convoy, nice.
Thank you for us on Channel 4 News. Just want to start, I suppose, by asking you why you have that.
We're here as part of a convoy to help bring humanitarian aid to Cuba and to raise awareness about the collective punishment that's being dealt to the Cuban people here by the Trump administration, and there's an embargo.
Is effing a little bit. Hold on. Whoa. What happened? Why did that happen? Internet go out? Is it still here? No. Power's still on. Why did that? Uh-oh. We're back though. Maybe reduce the image quality of the videos you play. I don't know what happened. We just like lost a little bit of power for a second. Freaked me out.
And there has been for a long time here, for over 60 years. But now there's an embargo on oil, which is causing a lot of problems here in Cuba. So we're here to bring awareness. We also bring in humanitarian aid, but also was 300 kilos of humanitarian aid coming from groups from all around the world.
No. It's from the Western America. It's 20 tons. We personally brought 30 kilos that we've. 300 kilos. Sorry, the numbers are all over the place here. But yeah, so obviously it's also important that we're here due to the fact that, Irish and Cuban solidarity is something that goes back a long time. And so obviously it's a privilege and an honor to be here. And even under such difficult times, as the Irish understand, you still see the resilience in the Cuban people every day here.
Mm-hmm. And can you give me some sense, just in terms of the local people, the local people you're meeting, like a sense of the sort of hardship they're experiencing as a result of the blockade?
Yeah, we were just walking around this morning there, and you see that even one of the local pharmacies, they're down to the bare bones in their medicines, and there's queues around the corner for people trying to get bread. So the people are hungry as well. Like we know, going back as far as the forced starvation that happened in Ireland, we were supported by the Choctaw people, and the Native Americans, who sent over funds to help people who were starving. So
it's true.
We know.
So did the Ottomans, by the way. Just saying. I mean, you don't have to mention them, but they did do that, for the record. The Turks did too.
The importance of international solidarity, and that's one of the reasons why we're over here now.
Mm-hmm. The reality is here is that the struggle and the hardship is to do with the embargoes and the sanctions. It's not the inability of the Cuban people to run their own country. It's to do with the embargo that is being placed on them by.
Okay, we're not gonna watch this whole thing. It's 20 minutes long. But yeah, they're doing a great job. I'm proud of them. The boys are great.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for introducing me to Kneecap. Yeah, dude. As soon as this trip was being planned, I knew. I was like, I know one group of artists that would be perfect for this trip. And I hit up Daniel, their manager, and I was like, would the boys be down to do this? And he said, bet. He was like, yup, absolutely. I have not met Diego Avila yet, but I will most likely. I will soon. Okay.